So right now I have a bunch of really ill-formed ideas that don't make any sense probably to anyone but me, but I'm just gonna share them with you and maybe you'll appreciate them. Maybe you'll produce them. If I have any big shot Hollywood producers watching this, I should really copyright these ideas. They're fantastic. Okay, so it's like a sequel to Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, where like all the kids who are in it are like grown up, and it's about them like surviving in like the real world. So they're making like a journal about how to like pay taxes and date and things like that. But it's actually a tragedy, and in the end like the notebook is like thrown into the garbage and like the pages are flying in the wind, and I think someone should commit suicide. I don't know, but I haven't really figured out they're really ill-formed ideas. I'm just, you know, a live-action Danny Phantom movie, which could go as well as Avatar, the live-action movie, or it could be awesome. I would be really curious to see how that would turn out. You could have like Aubrey Plaza play Sam, and she'd be like really, really cynical and deadpan, and then you could have like, oh, who would play Danny Phantom? God, I don't even know an actor who'd be like good enough, who would like bring justice to that role. I don't know. If you have any suggestions, you should leave that in the comments. Okay, alright, this is my next idea. It's really, really bad, but well, I think it's awesome. I'm gonna try to convey what I'm seeing in my head. Okay, so Stephen Colbert is a taxi driver in New York City, and it's a romantic comedy, but it has a twist. And so, who was it? Maya Rudolph comes into the taxi, and this is where the idea gets really crazy. I know I want them to fall in love, I just don't know how, and I know I want there to be a lot of explosions, and I want like a fight scene, but I don't know anything in between, so logistically that movie does not make any sense, but yeah, it's a good premise for a movie, I think. This is another one. I really like cop movies, so I think Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen should play like two like rebel cops in like a big city, and yeah, they're just fighting bad guys, taking names, being twins. They're still like really glam though, like they're still Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, like we've known them, but they're like, now they're cops. It's like adapted from when they were kids and they had like the Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen go shopping movies, like, but it's just like that except it's a cop movie as well, like it's just, I like that genre, so I just want to transfer that over into a cop movie. A movie where Ellen DeGeneres plays every single character. I don't know the genre and I don't know the plot, but I know that I would see it. I think you would see it too. A movie based off of Pokemon Snap, like, you know how they have like live action like video game movies and they're normally really, really awful? Well, it would be like that, except it'd be awesome. I just think, you know, there's a lot of potential with that movie. Gary's like this starving photographer, and he's just like desperate for work, and he finds like Professor Oak in like a train station. Professor Oak like convinces him that there's this like island where he can go to take pictures, and like it sounds really sketch, but Gary's like, you know what, I really need this job opportunity, so he goes to the island, and Professor Oak like keeps giving him these challenges, like he has to keep going around the island taking pictures, and he keeps on bringing the pictures back to Oak, but Oak is like, that's not in the center of the frame. Minus 200 points. And Gary gets really frustrated because like all these years in like art school he's learned about like vision and like being an artist, and just Oak doesn't understand any of it, and I'm really, really tired. I'm gonna work out the kinks with that one though, because that's the best idea I've had, which is awful. A sequel to Jumanji, but it's not Zathura. It's like an actual like, almost like a prequel. Like it's like we find out what happened to Robin Williams like once he came back to his life after like the board game reset his life, because he knew like what happened to him. Like he knew everything that happened to him like once the board game happened, but he like went back to being a kid. So he essentially gets to live his life twice, which is awesome. But I want to know like what happens to him in that time period. Like I want to know like how that changed his life. And that girl knew. I don't know the girl's name, but like she knew what happened as well. So like what? It must have been really awful for her, like, living her life over. But then again, she had a really awful life the first time, so I don't know. I want to find out what happens to her. It's not really a good movie pitch. I just want to know what happens. This is the weirdest idea I've ever had. But you know, like, the Dr. Seuss story, Yertle the Turtle, and how it's, like, based off, like, Nazi Germany? Well, I want to make, like, this really symbolic movie about Yertle the Turtle, but, like, I actually want Hitler to be, like, Yertle, and I want the rest of them to be turtles, so, like, Hitler is just climbing a bunch of turtles. Does that make sense? I want like symbolism and like the reality to like clash. I want Hitler to like try and communicate with the turtles. I guess it's a comedy? What? The next thing I wrote down, like I don't even know how to explain it to you, so I'm just gonna read out the paragraph I wrote about this idea. There's a meth operation led by a man named Charles Goose. And in the end of the movie, a cop comes in and breaks up their game of Duck, Duck, Goose by interrupting Duck, Duck and putting a gun to his shoulder and whispering, "Goose." Then he should say, "No more questions," and the screen cuts to credits. Asterisk. Side note, I don't know why the people in the meth lab are playing Duck, Duck, Goose. This can be worked out later. I think I was supposed to work that out before I made the video, but I don't... Bad idea. That's the idea then. Here's another paragraph I wrote down. Zooey Deschanel plays the foil of a really quirky and cute person. Her character gets really annoyed by anything her friend does that Zooey Deschanel would do in real life. It's not really a good movie, it's just a good acting challenge for Zooey Deschanel. Okay, I have nothing else to say. I'm so sorry that you had to hear my ideas. The Yertle the Turtle one, I have no idea what I was thinking. I think I thought that was a really good idea too. Like, that was the idea that I thought was the best, and like get the best response, but I don't even know what I wanted out of that.